Kia ora. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the New Zealand AIDS Foundation. The foundation was formed in a very different time 30 years ago. It was a time when it was illegal for gay men to have anal sex, when you could be fired from your job for being gay, and in which the AIDS-HIV epidemic was threatening to rip apart our entire community. In the face of all of that, a number of brave men and women came together 30 years ago to form the foundation. The successes and the achievements of the foundation over the last 30 years are very much because of those men and women who came together to form the AIDS Foundation. We stand on their shoulders. The AIDS Foundation marked its 30th anniversary with events this year in Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch. I was privileged to meet a number of people at those events this year who have volunteered or given their time to the AIDS Foundation. People who have been involved on the board, people who have volunteered their time packing condoms or at the Big Gay Out, people who have stood on the side of the streets collecting money for World AIDS Day, and people who have been our champions in the community spreading our prevention message. To all of you who have given up your time and your energy to the AIDS Foundation, thank you very much. For me, the AIDS Foundation has been successful because it's been a community response to a community problem. It's gay men coming together to help prevent the spread of HIV. It's gay men coming together to support their friends and to support their lovers who have HIV. And it's gay men coming together to fight stigma and to fight for the same basic human rights that everybody else has. For 30 years our message has been simple: wear a condom. It's a simple message, but it's been remarkably effective. In New Zealand, our HIV infection rate for men who have sex with men is 6.5%. That's half that of Australia and less than a third that of San Francisco. New Zealand has done better than almost every other country in the world. But we cannot be complacent. The infection rate in New Zealand is starting to rise again. There are also new science and new technology that we can use to help combat HIV. Over the past 12 months, the board of the New Zealand AIDS Foundation has updated our prevention strategy. In a nutshell, it's Condoms Plus. The first plank of our strategy is condoms, and deliberately so. They are effective at preventing the spread of HIV. They also help stop the spread of other STIs. They're widespread and easily available. They're cheap, and they're the reason why our infection rate is half that of Australia. We have a condom culture, and the AIDS Foundation will make condom use the most visible part of our prevention strategy. The second major plank of our strategy is testing. We ran our first National Testing Month this year. Testing is critical because it means that we can get people onto treatment earlier. The third part of our strategy is early access to treatment. The new science shows that if you have early access to treatment, it makes a real difference to your personal health. In addition, there's also a public health benefit. If you have early access to treatment, then the chances of spreading the virus reduce dramatically. And so that's why the AIDS Foundation is actively lobbying Pharmac to reduce the CD4 threshold. However, it's not enough to rely on testing and treatment alone. We also need to rely on condoms as well. If condom use drops while we promote testing and treatment, then HIV infection rates will rise. That's why it needs to be a condom plus approach, not a instead of condoms approach. The fourth part of our strategy is PrEP. That's the use of drugs by men who are HIV negative in order to prevent them from getting HIV. The AIDS Foundation is working with other organisations to develop a pilot or a demonstration program in relation to PrEP in New Zealand. However, once again, it needs to be in addition to condoms, not instead of condoms, or we will go backwards when it comes to new infections of HIV. And then the final part of our prevention strategy is continuing to engage with communities. The board works closely with its Māori advisory group, Te Raupu Kia Tau. The organisation also works with the Hui Takatapui movement, working with tangata whenua, and also with Pacific people through the Love Life Whānau movement. In addition, the board of the foundation is also conscious about New Zealand's changing ethnic mix. I'm pleased to announce that this year the board has committed additional funding and additional resource to work with the Asian communities in New Zealand. The board has also formed a Positive Peoples Advisory Group to make sure that the organisation is sufficiently responsive to the needs of people living with HIV. The organisation is also working more closely with Body Positive and Positive Women. And of course, the Foundation's role isn't limited to the gay community. One of the initiatives we've undertaken this year is to reboot our African advisory group to develop the full leadership potential of that group. After 30 years, we continue to face challenging times ahead. I'm confident that with your support and your commitment, we can face those challenges. We can make a difference, we can help prevent the spread of HIV, and we can support our friends and our lovers who have HIV. Thank you for your support and for helping to make a difference.